nation! No donation, no salvation!
And remember, respect is everything.
And we're back. So, I said I had another LEGO build lined up. I decided I was going to do another Transformer project because, for those who are new here, a lot of my LEGO stuff is mostly Transformers related. So, if you've never seen my Transformers, they're very much kind of anime, kind of, you know, I guess, like Chibi or Mega Man style. So they're very like kind of cartoony looking. So there's one in car mode. That's Blackjack. He's one of my favorites. And then another one of my favorites is Shadow Striker. So yeah, here's what my Transformers normally look like. They're very kind of, I guess, very chibi. I mean, I like to say more Mega Man style because they do kind of have proportions. But I mean, yeah, they're very cartoony looking, very, you know, kind of cutesy. But it's what I like. But I decided, I kind of, you know, because there's not many very characters left that I really want to mess with aside from a few combiners. But I mean, combiners are very expensive to build because LEGO in general is just very expensive. So I decided, let's look at some of my other stuff that I've made because, you know, I do build other stuff. I mean, I built a whole city for Christ's sakes. But today, we are looking at my LEGO Doomguy, or Doomslayer, whatever you want to call him. I just call him Doomguy because, you know, I'm old school like that because, I don't know, it's just what I like to call him. But anyway, here's Doomguy. As you can see, I decided to build the Doomguy from Doom. I did the classic version because this is my preferred version of the Doom Marine, as I call him, because, you know, everybody else calls him Doomguy or Doomslayer. I call him the Doom Marine because that's how, I mean, he's a Marine, at least in the original Dooms. So he does come with his pistol, which they do fire. I'm not going to fire them because these little launchers are surprisingly powerful, and I do not want to lose that piece. But yes, all the guns here, except for one in particular, they work. So this pistol works, and he can hold it like that in his left hand, because if you've played the original Doom, or if you're like me and you play a lot of brutal Doom, which is my preferred way to play Doom, just because I love the gore, and, you know, I like to put the heavy metal mod too, because it just makes it that much cooler. So there's the pistol. He can hold it in his left hand. I did build the super shotgun, which is just based on a generic double barrel shotgun. It's a little more inspired by the Doom Eternal one. So again, a lot of the weapons here are based kind of on a combination of Doom Eternal and the original Doom. This piece is supposed to be attached. So yeah, here's the shotgun, and it does work. So you can actually load them individual just from the front instead of from the back where you would load a real double barrel shotgun. But yeah, it's kind of a combination of the Doom Eternal one and the classic one from Doom 2, which is where the double barrel shotgun first appeared, or the super shotgun if you want to call it that. So there's that. They do fire, but again, I don't want to lose those bullets. The original pistol in the original game was based on a Beretta 92, or the M9 as it's most commonly referred to, so a little bit of gun knowledge if you're, you know, looking for that. The next gun I built, here, let's get him in a neutral pose, because I really love how this figure turned out. And I want to start reviewing a lot of my more original builds, or at least stuff that isn't just Transformers, because don't get me wrong, I am still a very huge Transformers fan, but again, keep in mind, building that stuff is very time consuming, because I got to find characters that I haven't done yet, and I have to research the character, you know, to make sure that I want to do it, you know, if they're a character I would like. So, you know, those builds are very time consuming, because even though they're not very complicated, I do like to make them cosmetically pleasing. So there's Doomguy. I used gold and like tan for the boots because this is kind of more based on the Doom Eternal version of the classic Doomslayer, because I wanted to use these shin guards, but I didn't have them in gray or anything, so I just used gold, kind of like the most recent, you know, figure. I actually did order the figure, but it's going to take forever to get here because the one I ordered, for some reason, came from a different part of the world because the Amazon didn't tell me, because they suck. Here's the plasma rifle, which, again, it does fire. You just push this little thing. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to lose the little bullet in there. But they do work. Or here, I guess I'll demonstrate it with the pistol. It's actually a lot stronger than that, but again, I'm not trying to lose these, so... yeah, this thing will go flying. Same with the plasma rifle. Nope. Oh, I don't know where it went. Crap. Oh, wait, nope, found it. There it is. So yeah, you have to load them from the front. But yeah, here's a plasma rifle, which the front should be a lot wider, but because I wanted to use this mechanism, it kind of looks the way it does. So there's a plasma rifle. Again, I mostly picked my favorite guns from the game just because, you know, I didn't want to do all of them because it would be kind of insane. So I just chose my personal favorites. So the pistol, the shotgun, the plasma rifle. I did do the chain gun, so that's always cool, and it does work. I'm not gonna. So the way this works, you have to spin it, and it basically, you know, will fire the bullet. Okay, there we go. Okay, good thing I chose orange, but yeah. So it is a functional chain gun. You just have to rotate it manually, kind of like an old revolver if you think about it like that. Where did that piece go? Yeah, I'm obviously not going to launch all of those, but it does work. So it is a semi-functional chain gun. So there's that. Again, not super detailed, and it's kind of a mix of the Doom 3, Doom 2 miniguns, so that's kind of why it looks the way it does. And we also got, of course, the BFG 9000, because, I mean, if you're going to build a classic Doom guy, you gotta have the BFG 9000, which is like the most destructive weapon in the entire game, especially if you're playing it on Brutal Doom. This thing, God, it is lethal. Now, it doesn't shoot anything, sadly, because it would have been kind of difficult, but I did put some green pieces to kind of simulate the super blast effect, because if you've ever played you know, any of the Doom games, the BFG 9000 is like the most destructive weapon in the whole game. So again, it's just kind of a basic representation. It's probably not super accurate, but you know, it does the job. He can hold it, but it's super heavy, so you kind of have to mess with it a lot to get it to work. But he can hold all these weapons fine, just you have to really work with the posing. I guess we can go over articulation just a little bit. So yeah, he's very posable. I gave him black gloves because, you know, I thought it was very metal, so I thought it looked cool. Because, you know, a lot of Doomguy art is depicted him with gloves, and, you know, I thought it was cool. Yeah, he's very posable. Pretty much all the standard stuff you'd expect from an action figure. His elbows are a little limited, or they're not really I mean, it's kind of weird to describe it, but they're a little limited because of the way the shoulders are built, but again, I wanted it to be as accurate as it could be. I used lime green because I didn't have any traditional green, even though it does use a little bit of traditional green back here, because it's one of those like Lego mech kind of like cockpit things, and I just stuck Doomguy's helmet on there. So again, I just kind of based it off the original cover art. A lot of this was done from memory, so again, it may not be super accurate, but I think it does the job. So there's Doomguy's helmet, but like I said, he is very posable. A little limited in some areas, but you know, he's got really good hips. So see if we can get a full dynamic. Again, he can strike pretty much any pose you kind of want him to, but I mean, you know, he does what he needs to. I just wanted to show this off. I was really proud of it, and I've been into Doom a lot lately because I've been playing a lot of Brutal Doom again. So I figured I'd just make some really basic representation of Doomguy. I will be looking at some of my other like Lego creations, because again, you know, I want to look at stuff that I like too, you know, because I do love Transformers, don't get me wrong, but I also want to look at other stuff that I like, and you know, I do build a lot of original stuff, or at least stuff based on things that I like. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, but until next time, you all have a good one.
Hallelujah! Another soul saved!